Welcome. This video will serve as a training tool for you to understand the behaviors that are most likely to identify impaired versus normal operation of a motorcycle. I will be demonstrating the visual cues law enforcement can use to detect impairment in motorcycle riders. Every year, more riders are killed in motorcycle crashes in New York State because of alcohol and drug impairments. By recognizing cues, you can get impaired motorcycle riders off the road for their safety and everyone else's. Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee, this video was created in cooperation with the New York State Motorcycle Safety Work Group and the New York State Department of Health. Let's get started. Many of the excellent indicators of impairment involve the special coordination and balance requirements of riding a motorcycle. These cues are likely to predict impaired motorcycle operation at least 50% of the time. The most common cause of single, fatal motorcycle crashes is for the road to curve and the motorcycle to continue in a straight line until they strike a stationary object. You may also see the motorcycle's turn radius expand during the maneuver. The motorcycle will appear to drift to the outside of the lane or into another lane through the curve. To park or dismount, a rider turns off the engine, locates, and deploys the kickstand. They must balance their weight on one foot while swinging the other foot over the seat to dismount. An inexperienced rider might have difficulty with this sequence. So can an impaired rider. At a stop, a rider may place one foot on the ground to keep the bike upright. Some riders will place both feet on the ground for stability. An impaired rider often shifts their weight from one foot to another to maintain balance at a stop. From a block away, you may notice a single taillight moving from side to side in a gentle, rocking motion. Riders need to put more effort into balancing as they slow down. You might observe a motorcycle's front wheel or handlebars wobble as an impaired rider attempts to maintain balance at slow speeds or during a turn. A rider normally brakes before entering a turn or curve so the motorcycle can accelerate through the turn for maximum control. An impaired rider might misjudge their speed or distance to the curve, requiring application of the brake during the turn. Riders must lean into a turn, but an impaired rider might sit upright through the maneuver. You may observe a motorcycle to be unsteady during a turn or curve, brake late, assume an improper turn angle, make erratic movements or sudden corrections during a turn or curve. Riders periodically scan the area around their motorcycle to protect themselves from encroachment by another vehicle. An impaired rider may seem unaware of their surroundings or unconcerned with detection. If a rider fails to respond to emergency lights, sirens, or your hand signals, they could be impaired. A rider may be impaired if you see inappropriate or unusual behaviors such as riding while holding an object in one hand, carrying an open container of alcohol, dropping an item from the motorcycle, urinating roadside, or otherwise being disorderly. It's normal for a rider to weave around road hazards, but an impaired rider will weave within a lane or across lane lines inappropriately. You are likely familiar with the good cues of rider impairment, as they are similar to common cues of impairment when driving other vehicles. Good cues a rider is impaired include erratic movements while going straight, riding without headlights at night, recklessness, following too closely, running a stoplight or stop sign, evasion, and going the wrong way. These cues are likely to predict impaired motorcycle operation 30 to 50% of the time. Remember, cues are not necessarily a violation of the law, but can indicate impairment. Also, none of the excellent or good cues are conclusive evidence of impairment, but the totality of circumstances can indicate an impaired rider. If you feel uncomfortable with a rider's behaviors, do everyone a favor and get them off the road. These cues of impairment can be observed during daylight and nighttime conditions and apply to all motorcycle riders. If you come across an unlicensed or inexperienced rider, advise them to take the basic rider and skills training courses. Thanks again for taking the time to learn more about the visual cues you can use to detect riders who are operating motorcycles while impaired. For more resources, visit health.ny.gov/motorcycles.